All right, and we are officially live. Let me check to make sure I'm actually live on here. Maybe I am. No, here we go. Okay. Do my little fun little promotion because that's what content creators do. Hey, race fan. Good evening, Daniel. How are you? I hope you all had a wonderful day. So I know the Xfinity race happened earlier today, and Cole Custer got the win. Got to see him back in victory lane. I'm really bummed about SVG because he had a top 10 going, and Sam Mayer got into him. So, pain. I mean, regardless, I think SVG has shown he can drive on the ovals. So, that's always good. I think Ty Gibbs is leading him to the field tomorrow for the Cup race, so we'll see how that goes. I will say, while people are filing in, I am going to Indy next week. I'm actually going to buy my ticket before the night is over, so I'll take care of that. Let me go ahead and post them live here. Couple of fun mock races. I'll also give off some Sunday Night Lights updates as well. That's not how I spell updates. There we go. Make sure that's good to go. Due to breaking news, coverage of tonight's IndyCar race will move to CNBC and Peacock. Coverage begins at 8. Interesting. Anyway, them cheating Tony Yoders, yes. TV8s, how are you? I'm doing alright. Yeah, it looked like a really good battle there between Custer and Allgaier, so I believe that's his first win of the year, so it's nice that he finally picked up a win. That's big for him, especially in this later stretch of the regular season. So that's always good for him. Like I said, I'm bummed about SVG, but once again, he's just smiling and taking it all in stride. He's like, I just love it because he's just, some drivers are like, so and so did this, and Shane's just like, well, that sucked. I'm sorry, but how could you hate that guy? I'm sorry. I'm glad he's in the sport. That's all I'll say about that. So yeah, we got the Pocono Cup race tomorrow, and then Ford's first Xfinity win of the year. Jesus, that's nuts. Of course, Custer, his situation's interesting because Haas is staying in NASCAR. So, they which I'll give my 2 cents on, which I had a hunch, and I kind of think was proven right, that I think Tony just wanted out, which is ironic because obviously we're running a couple of Racing Infinity Lives mock races with the previous Racing Infinity that surrounded Tony Stewart. So, yeah, that's fun. So, yeah, I'll get the races going here in just a bit. We'll give it a couple more minutes for people to file in. But, yeah, so does Custer go up to Cup with Haas? Does he stay in Xfinity? We'll see. I think Custer will be in the Haas Factory Cup car next year. And I could see that. He's kind of... I hope him running Xfinity for a couple years again helps him out a little bit. It's hard to say how the team will do next year. Because I guess practically it's a 4-car team becoming a 1-car team, so, It's nice, though, that Haas wants to stay in NASCAR, so. Looks like Riley Herbst will be going. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if he's a Cup Series driver next year. I think Herbst either goes to front row or he goes to Rick Ware. And Rick Ware's doing better. Like, remember, about a year ago, we were all sitting here thinking, why is Justin Haley moving to Rick Ware Racing? Well, he proved us all wrong. I'll be honest with you. I think Justin Haley could steal a win. I think he could. He could show up to Daytona and steal one. Herbst, I think he's good. He's got sponsorship, but I think he goes to I think most likely he goes to front row because they still need a third car. But good guy, good driver. He's going to be a threat on the super speedways for sure. If you can keep the car in one piece and just continue to improve, then I think he'll be just fine. Because front row, which is interesting, because I think this was brought up either the Nashville race or last week at Chicago. McDowell going to Spire, it seems like Ford actually, for the rest of the season, has practically, somebody even said that Ford, cut back on giving FRM information since McDowell's going to a Chevrolet team next year, which I found interesting, but it makes sense. And it sucks because, they just got an upgrade in everything and data and information, and, front row's it's gotten so much better over the last few years, which it's a shame that, they're letting McDowell walk. I know he's a little older, but I think he's the best driver that team's had. This is a guy who won you a Daytona 500. This is a guy who went to Indy last year and dominated and frankly gave me one of the best photos I've ever taken in my life. What is this? And honestly, I could see Harrison Burton going to the Haas Xfinity team. I do think Harrison will go down to Xfinity. I think he'll follow the same route as Custer because I think Harrison just needs to kind of, get back up on his feet again, get back in victory lane. And, maybe by 2027, he's back in the Cup Series if things go well. So, Gene must think that 24 divided by 4 equals 6. Rumors are going around that Herbst could be going to 2311 in a third car. Yeah. I'm curious to see how much that money's going to come from MJ or even Toyota, but I still think Corey Heim's going to that 2311 car. And an interesting tidbit I learned is I guess Heim may not be able to drive for JGR because of beef between he and Ty Gibbs before, so that's interesting. Yeah, I still think Heim's going to 2311. Yeah, Ryan Preece in the 15 of Rick Ware. Yeah, that's a possibility too. Noah Gragson going to front row is a good choice. Yeah, I agree. Gragson proved himself this year. He's shown good runs. He's shown flashes of brilliance. It's all about having the equipment. I always said that about Chris Buescher. I kept saying, I really think Chris Buescher's a good driver. He just needs the stuff. Now he has the stuff. He hasn't won yet this year, but he's been good. He won 3 races last year. So there you go. I think Corey Heim should go to Sam Hunt Racing and Xfinity. And that's always a possibility if 2311 does go down the route of Riley Herbst. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of Silly's season plays out. So, well, there's an IndyCar race on. I may have to have that on in the background while I'm doing this stuff today. Since Rolex might leave F1, they should hop on Heim time for the memes. Heim time. Gosh. That Daytona 500 win really changed McDowell's career. I'm pretty sure the most... yeah, I mean... I remember staying up, watching with a friend, and I was happy for him because up until that point, yeah, he was known for that Texas crash many years ago. But that did change his career. And it's the Daytona 500. It's a win like that will not only change your career, it changes your life. So for McDowell to win that is pretty darn special. You know, or seeing a small team like JTG Daugherty win it 2 years ago. I got to see that was my first Daytona 500. That was always my dream up until that point was to see the 500, and I finally got to see it, and I was just blown away by everything. And I still remember standing there. I remember that last rack happened, and I went, "Oh my God! Did Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just win the Daytona 500? That's wild! This is awesome!" So, and then this year, of course, was Byron. I know I was at Gateway about a little over a month ago now. I will say that I was happy for Cindric to see him get another win finally. I don't know if I brought it up before, but my dad actually said something along the lines of, "Oh, hey, I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him win today because he really loved the story of his bow tie." And what do you know, right? Have you seen my comment on what track I for Daytona in 1990? Yeah, I did. I need to do some looking around, and I'll let you know what's going on there because I think I have it in a backup drive somewhere, but I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. So perhaps after this stream, I might dig it out and do some looking around and testing. I'm pretty sure I still have something because, of course, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, excuse me, that's something that I'll look around for. What's the problem with us making? Oh, I don't mind the speculation or anything like that. I just felt like it was, feel free to talk about whatever you want. Feel free to, voice your predictions or whatever else. I just felt like through a couple of different people that it was getting a little, how do I say it? It was kind of getting a little bit spammy. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I apologize. I didn't mean to get that across the wrong way or anything, but I just wanted to say, I want to make sure everyone is able to say what they want to say, right? I don't mean to take a shot at anybody, so I'm just want to make sure nothing wild happens or anything crazy happens, because I want everybody to enjoy Sunday Night Lights and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, again, speculation's always good, making predictions is always good, I promise. There was just an instance where I noticed that it was it was feeling like spam. So, I don't know why I said spammy. That's a real word. That's a dumb way of saying it. Excuse me. But Lanterns, how you doing? Scott Speed and Lake Speed have the same. Yeah, they're not related, but it's kind of like Jeff and Robbie Gordon, how they're not related, but they have the same last name. I also think Daniel Hemrick will move back to Xfinity next year. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I kind of expected him to not really do great, but yeah, I really don't know what to make of Hemrick. So, before I discuss anything else, let's talk about the first race that I'm going to run today. I want to make sure I give the correct shout out. So, JoJo UY6CK suggested Nazareth. So I thought Nazareth would be a fun option. So let me get this going here. I'll switch on over to this. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'm trying to think what's a good... Alright, we'll do 30%, 68 laps. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Also, while I get this race set up... Oh, hold on a second. I better fix that. I switch to certain cars if I'm doing like a burnout scene, so for like videos. So, you know, I just remembered, oh, I should probably switch to a car that I don't need to worry about the number for. So, let me do that. Yeah, I thought Nazareth would be do a 100% race, coward. Maybe one of these days I could do a fun stream where I do like a 100% race, right? That may not be a bad... Let me know what you guys think about that. Something fun, something different, of course, but I don't know. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but yeah, Daniel, sorry about that whole comment. You know, I promise I do appreciate everybody's enthusiasm towards Sunday Night Lights. And by the way, I got some exciting exciting updates for you. All that's left is the Cup Series. So we just finished the Busch Series, and I will say I'm not going to give anything away, but the Busch Series is it's pretty stacked. I'll give it that. It's stacked, and there's a lot of fun moments out of the Busch Series season, and I think you guys are going to enjoy what you see. So. And we have also began working on the next Racing Infinity as well. So, and again, stay tuned for all the fun updates and everything else. That's something I didn't think about. I have YouTube TV. Do I even have CNBC? Uh-oh. I don't think I do. Oops. Wait. Oh. Okay. Okay, I do have it. Anyway, let's see. You believe in something, stick with it. Absolutely. Rest in peace, Steve Burns, obviously. And I loved last week's episode. Thank you. That, honestly, that might be one of my most favorite Racing Infinities that I've ever done.
Drivers, to your cars.
Oh, good Lord. That's embarrassing. Guys, you can't take me anywhere. I keep getting the wrong car set out. Jesus. That was the car set I used for Junior to JGR. That's the wrong one. That's on me. That's on me. Okay, let's try this again. Let me make sure entries are correct. Yep. This is why you double check on things. Make sure everything is good, because just double check, triple check, and make sure everything's good. Okay, so, yeah, as I was saying, I really loved how the last Racing Infinity went. As a matter of fact, it might be becoming one of the more popular ones, and I really appreciate you guys for that. I think it's almost at 600 views, so that is awesome. Thank you so much. I really loved how that all got put together. And I admit I had to do some retakes of that race because I wanted to make sure, like, the people that were focused on were in the highlight.
Drivers,
and
to your cars.
I gotta say, I love that finish so much. And, I apologize if I made anyone's ears bleed. I use a Samsung Meteor for my mic. I've been using it since, like, 2016. And I admit, at some point I need to look into something a little bit better, a little bit more better quality, something a little more professional. I'll get to that point at some point. But yeah, I love how that finish came out. And I mean, yeah, Tony almost had that race won, and Scott Speed steals it. That's pretty cool for Scott Speed to win a Cup race at Daytona. And I think that's pretty neat. Let me look at the starting lineup here. So we got Jeff Gordon and Brian Vickers on the front row for this Cup Series race at Nazareth Speedway. I am using the WKC 2017 Day Edition, in case you guys are wondering. Excuse me. The Shark Tank IndyCar doubleheader. The real question is, who will say I'm out? Oh, gosh. Bubba Nissen's my favorite part of SNL. What is yours? Oh, that's a good question. I really like that. Oh, man. I mean...
Drivers, to your cars.
That's a good question. Well, I gotta say, having a female winner in the Cup Series was really cool. I will definitely say that. Alright. Here are the cars. And let's take a look at our starting lineup. So Jeff Gordon is on the pole. Brian Vickers will start next to him. Row 2, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson. And then we got Kyle Busch and Clint Boyer. Juan Pablo Montoya and... Oh, shit. Hold on a second. What was that song by Limp Bizkit? One of those days? Okay. So, okay. I am now on the game. Sorry. So that being said, here's our starting lineup. Jeff Gordon, Brian Vickers, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer, Juan Pablo Montoya, Kurt Busch, Greg Biffle, Mark Martin. Look at Sam Hornish Jr. with a good qualifying run. Matt Kenseth will start next to him. Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards, followed by James Dennis, Alan Hamlin, and Casey Mears. And, of course, David Stremme, because this is the Racing Infinity Volume 26 cars. And stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping those cars in the description of Racing Infinity Volume 26. So keep an eye out for those. So, yeah, Stremme, Dale Jr., David Ruderman, Casey Kane, AJ Allmendinger, Martin Truex Jr. in the 29. The 44 of AJ Allmendinger. Then you got John Andretti and Elliott Sadler. Robbie Gordon, Marcus Ambrose. Paul Menard and David Reagan. Bobby Labonte, Jimmy McMurray. Reed Sorensen, Michael Waltrip. Kevin Harvick did not get a good qualifying run. He's going to start way back here. As well as Brad Keselowski. Will he win this race? You got Joey Logano, Reagan Smith, Joe Nemechek, Daytona winner Scott Speed, David Gilliland, Patrick Impartier, Tony Raines, and Ryan Newman. All right. And we will be set and ready to go from Nazareth Speedway. Go ahead and comment what your picks to win are, by the way. Man, this looks nice. But yeah, once again, this is the WKC Nazareth that they made. So basically, it's like what Nazareth could have looked like today. It's basically what it is. So curious to see how the car of tomorrow races here. So we're about less than a minute or so from the green flag. If we get a tire finish like that in SNL, my heart will stop. Newman is to the back because he was distracted by John Cena. Yes, he was. Cena was getting revenge from Newman slamming him through a table. That remains probably one of my all-time favorite NASCAR commercials. Newman! Which, by the way, of course, John Cena just announced that he's retiring at the end of 2025 from WWE Wrestling. So, it's part of my childhood right there, man. So, yeah, his last time is now. So, I just want to say thank you, Cena. But anyway,
Start your engines!
All right, you heard those famous words. The engines are fired here in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and we are rolling. That's me checking to make sure all the cars are rolling, because sometimes there will be a car that just goes down pit road or their engine expires before the green flag, and it's just like, ah. It is a beautiful afternoon here in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, as the stars of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series take on this fun, quirky little 1-mile circuit. Jeff Gordon and Brian Vickers on the front row, followed by Tony Stewart and Jimmie Johnson. It's set to be an exciting afternoon of action. 68 laps to determine the winner here in Nazareth. Chevy Monte Carlo pace car goes down pit road, and we are set and ready to go racing here in Nazareth. Gordon, Vickers, Stewart, Johnson, Busch, Bowyer, Montoya, Kurt Busch. Green flag, we're underway. Jeff Gordon immediately pulls ahead as they head into turn 1. Jimmie Johnson to the inside of Brian Vickers as the crowd is on their feet. That inside line definitely has the advantage right now, and Gordon pulls away easily, and it's a Hendrick 1-2, and Tony Stewart is looking for third place. Jeff Gordon will lead the first lap. Jimmie Johnson in second, Stewart third, Kyle Busch fourth as Brian Vickers continues to drop back on that outside line. Juan Pablo Montoya now entering the top 5 in that Target Chevrolet. And Greg Biffle will follow him. Clint Bowyer finally gets around Brian Vickers as well. This timeline and the Gen 6 Red Bull timeline should eventually meet up thanks to Scott Speed's win. That's an interesting point there. Coming to lap 4, it's still Gordon, Johnson, Stewart, your top 3. 2 Hendrick cars, followed by 2 Gibbs Toyotas, and then a Chip Ganassi, or I should say Earnhardt Ganassi car. Juan Pablo Van Gisbergen. Oh my gosh. So that's JPVG. What was that video, that funny clip from Shane where he was like, "Oh, I made that's a hot lap," or something like that? Thought that was just funny as heck. Johnson trying to chase down Jeff Gordon in the process. And looks like things have began to settle in, and Brian Vickers finally is able to find a rhythm. He's in 7th place. And Sam Hornish Jr. up here in 9th, having a good run here. Looked fast in qualifying. Hopefully he can see if he can get a good result here today. Back behind him, Jeff Burton and Denny Hamlin. My favorite part of Sunday Night Lights is the NASCAR female movement. Yeah, I mean, I feel, there's so many favorite moments, but I do feel like that's something that is a big deal to have NASCAR become a big co-ed sport. Yep, there it is. On my TV next to me, I do have the IndyCar Series race at Iowa on, so I have that in the background. With that being said, My favorite part of SNL, the graphics. I wonder who made them. Yeah, I do wonder who made them there, Jet. I do wonder who made them. I do wonder. Yeah, Jet does a terrific job with all the graphics. So, like I said, Busch Series is complete. All we have left is the Winston Cup, and then on to the fun part, the video production of what may be another 2-hour-long video. So, I can't give you a rough estimate, of course, but when we get closer to that, I will certainly let you guys know. As we have this top 4 racing together here. I got a few comments about what other tracks to use, but I will also ask if you guys have any track suggestions. Feel free to comment and let me know. I'm interested to see what kind of ideas you guys have. Man, Hy-Vee's done a great job putting the money into Iowa Speedway. And of course, it just hosted the Cup Series too, so that's pretty cool. Oh wow, Iowa's football coach giving the command. That's cool. Speaking of college football, sorry to get off topic of NASCAR, but I am really excited about the new college football video game. I can't wait to play Dynasty mode and all that fun stuff and get on Team Builder. Take my Louisville Cardinals to a national championship. But anyway, Johnson is still there, getting closer to Gordon's back bumper as the Hendrick duo lead the way here in Nazareth. What's up, mother shuckers? Oh my god, it's corn. But yeah. I would do my best impression of Twist by Korn, but I'm scared that of copyright, so. I love that band. Or Iowa, I mean, Slipknot. Slipknot's from Iowa. Do you think Willie T. Ribbs and Bill Lester will start another movement in NASCAR? I think it's certainly possible. I think they're both in really good spots. It'll be interesting to see what they do in 1998, where they end up. Not going to tell you what's going on there, of course. Don't want to give away any spoilers, but I think what's cool is like NASCAR is already starting to be a big deal and showcasing that the sport's for everybody in this timeline. So, yeah, I think, and of course, we had Jeff Braben win the IMSA Stock GT title in 97, so I feel like, and of course that's technically like the first international champion in a way, so yeah, a lot of fun stuff ahead. That time Marcos Ambrose gave Vegemite sandwiches to the TNT crew. Always liked Marcos Ambrose. I still remember going to the Kentucky truck race in 06, and he was on the pole that night, and everybody was talking about how cool it was that he came over to America to race, and I just always thought that was pretty cool. So, okay, let's see. For the next race, I'm hearing Barber. Okay, Pocono. That'll be an easy trip for these guys for sure if they decide to do Pocono. And Johnson is right there, coming to lap 18. Johnson trying to take the lead from Jeff Gordon. He is there. And meanwhile, the IndyCar race is underway on CNBC. Oh God, huge crash off turn 2 there. Oh dear. Okay, Louisiana. Okay. I could do that. Oh, the Hy-Vee car crashed too. Lundgaard. 66. Trying to tell who else that is. Ooh, I-70? Okay. I-70 depends if I can fit 42 cars on that track, but that could be an interesting option for sure. Oh, that was Grosjean. And Malukas also wrecked. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon's starting to catch up to some lap traffic here as we come to lap 22. Yeah, that was Roman Grosjean in that wreck. Looked like this Malukas just lost it, and Grosjean had nowhere to go, and that was a 78. And then, yeah, Grosjean was part of that too. Evergreen? Okay. Same thing there. It depends if Evergreen fits 42 cars. I don't know if it does. Unless that just doesn't matter. I'm not really sure. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Sorry, just chatting with the roommate. And yes, we do have a lead change while that happened. Jimmy Johnson leads. Tony Stewart jumps up to second. Gotta love that lap traffic. Especially in our 2003. Gotta love that lap traffic. Still a bit of a ways from the next lap car in the process. So that was the 36 and 37. Brad Keselowski out of the race with a piston issue. The Flames got smoked. Indeed they did. Indeed they did. Indeed they did. J.R. Hildebrand loves lap traffic. Oh no. Oh man. Oh man. He did what in his cup? Yeah. Yeah, the Olympics are coming up in just a couple of weeks. So, about 40 laps to go here in Nazareth. So, pit stops will have to happen at some point, whether they're under green or under caution. Jimmy Johnson has taken the lead from Jeff Gordon. Tony Stewart has also taken second. Kyle Busch is fourth. Juan Pablo Montoya is fifth, and right behind him is Greg Biffle, who is sixth. And it's Clint Bowyer seventh, Brian Vickers eighth. In ninth place is David Rudiman in the 00, and then Jeff Burton rounds out the top 10 as Rudiman looks to get past Tony Raines in the 37 and Patrick Compartier in the 36. Rudiman gets by the 37. Yeah, for those of you following along with the IndyCar race, there was a wreck on lap 1 off turn 2. Looked like, yeah, like I said, I think David Malukas Oh yeah, he went too low. He hit the apron. He just went too low on the track and lost it. He went up into the 78 and the 77. I'm trying to remember who was the 78, but Grosjean's the 77. I think Lundgaard was also involved in that. Oh, man. Johnson now catches some lap traffic, so let's see if Tony Stewart can take an advantage. Johnson continuing to pick apart the lap traffic. Pretty sure the last time Tony Stewart drove on this track was probably his early years in the Busch Series. Remember when a couple of truck races ended up on Fox News and the Fox Business Network? Yeah, sometimes that just happens. Certain things happen and all that. Sorry about the lag there. But yeah. Now Johnson's getting held up by Joe Nemechek in the 87, so Stewart might have a chance at the lead. And Johnson peeks to the inside of Nemechek. Eldor on Fox Business hit different that one year. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And Johnson continues to lead. Just show the guy waving the green flag for the IndyCar race. It's just like you do that, and then the wreck happens. You're like, oh. Well then. Oh, that was Canapino. Okay. Yeah, and Lundgaard was also in that. Green flag pit stops. Our leaders are coming down pit road. Johnson, Stewart, Gordon, Busch, Montoya, all making their way down pit road. These pit stops will be crucial. It could determine who wins this race and who doesn't. Excuse me. Johnson, Stewart, Gordon, Busch, all going to work. Their crew's going to work on their cars. Who's going to come out first? And Johnson will pull out ahead of Stewart and Gordon, assuming that Johnson will still be the leader once everything cycles through. Pit stop. Yes, pit stop. So yeah, green flag pit stops there. We are just about 30 laps to go. Anyone remember Ray Dunlap? Yes, I do remember Ray Dunlap. Yes, sir. Goodness, this IndyCar race is still under caution? So indeed, Johnson does regain the lead after green flag pit stops. There will be some lap traffic up ahead. John Andretti coming off pit road. We got some smoke. Did the caution come out? Oh my God, we got a huge accident on pit road. Marcos Ambrose just hit the water barrels. Elliott Sadler with heavy damage. I don't know what in the world just happened. The caution is out here at Nazareth. We're going to have to take a look at exactly what in the world happened. It looked like somebody was trying to re-enter the track. Indeed, that is... Yeah, let's see. David Stremme was coming off pit road and gets into Tony Raines, who was trying to get onto pit road, and oh man. And Matt Kenseth is just an innocent victim and all that. Bobby Labonte and Reed Sorensen, Paul Menard all pile in, and I think this is what leads to more calamity up ahead. Oh my God. Ambrose just like hit the freaking entrance of pit road right there. Okay. Robbie Gordon with heavy damage. Sadler involved. Goodness. That is definitely an NR 2003 moment, folks. I saw Martin Truex Jr. with damage? Let me see that. No, he was just on pit road. Okay. So yeah, we are now under caution, and I have no idea what's happening back here. Okay. Well, hopefully things get situated here. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, this is definitely an NR 2003 moment. This is definitely an NR 2003 moment. I did a quick test this and that happened, so. But it looks like now some of the lead cars are starting to actually go by. Just wonder if something's wrong with the 12 that's causing the field to be held up. Will we see 1999 SNL before the end of the year? I would love to do that. Get it out by like Christmas or New Year's. It just kind of depends how everything goes. But yeah, that's what I'd like to do, but it just depends. Alright, now we're getting situated here. Yeah, Newman is hard to pass. That is true. As the AI is still trying to kill each other. Looks like we're getting lined up and getting ready to go back to green. Will this be the only caution, or will cautions breed cautions? We are going to find out. So it's Johnson, Stewart, Gordon, Kyle Busch, David Rudiman, your top five. And the 78 is blowing up. So hopefully that won't be too much of an issue. And we're back underway here at Nazareth. So Stewart and Gordon do clear Nemechek. Somebody going down pit road? 26 is going down pit road. I think the 19 is also going down pit road. And Reagan Smith, whose engine has expired, his day is done. Let's pretend this is why Nazareth never hosted Cup. Oh gosh. Yeah, let me know if y'all have any more suggestions for tracks for the second race. Got about almost 20 laps to go. Imagine Ralph Shaheen calling the final lap of the 2009 Coke 0400. Stewart and Gordon trying to catch Jimmy Johnson here. There is some lap traffic coming. Those are the cars that just got off pit road. And now Jimmy Johnson is trying to reel in Elliott Sadler in the 19. Will he be able to get around him? And he does. Looks like Jack Harvey is out of the race in IndyCar. Oh, he's in extreme pain? Oh, gosh. If Sunday Night Lights is so good, why are we streaming on Saturday? Bruh. What? My God. Yeah, Johnson has pulled away from the rest of the field. We have about 18 laps remaining. Jeff Gordon is second now. Tony Stewart third. And it's Kyle Busch, David Rudiman. Stewart wants second from Gordon. All over the back of that 24 car. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to the Brickyard 400. Probably going to be there all weekend, see all the races. So, do I prefer the oval or the road course? I think it's fun to experiment. I always had the idea of why not just alter every other year. So, like this year you do the oval, next year you do the road course, and then the year after you do the oval, and so on and so forth. Still, it's cool that, it's the first Brickyard 400 in 4 years. I'm curious to see how the next gen car is at Indianapolis on the oval. So, I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. Gordon and Stewart battling out like it's 1999. That's right. Excuse me. I think they should go back to Xfinity on the road course and Cup on the oval. That could be fun. I think that could work too. Because they did that for a bit as well. Well, for a bit, I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's fun to experiment and switch things up sometimes. Jimmie Johnson's out to a 1.3 second lead. And coming back to the line, we will have 11 laps to go. The next gen car will probably perform well in Indy, just as I'm sure that it would at Kentucky. Yeah, it's, you know, you never know until it happens, right? So, you know, I think the next gen car has provided great racing on the mile and a halves and tracks like that. So, you know, I think it'll do good at Indy. I think it will. When the 2010 season was titled "Have at It, Boys," it feels like a script for a movie. Oh man, I remember when ESPN had that DJ Porter guy, and they did the "Boys Have at It" remix. What in the world? Why is the 99 just sitting there? What the? What? What in God's green earth just happened? The 99 was just sitting there. What in God's green earth just happened? Okay, wait. Hold on. Wait a second. Time out. Okay, so Edwards slowed up, and John Andretti hits the back of him. Brian Vickers with heavy contact. Junior involved. And then he just kind of sits there in the middle. Everybody just starts hitting the 99. 75 also hits him. Good Lord. 36 hits him, and for safe measures, we have another NR 2003 moment. Who did Johnson hit? Oh, dear God. Tony Raines. Jimmie Johnson just got screwed out of a win. Okay. Kyle Busch did too. Kyle Busch is flipping on his roof. So is David Stremme. What is happening in Nazareth, Pennsylvania? By God. Oh, God. Get him off the track, please. This is getting insane. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, well, this is quite the scene. So, yeah, I guess, I guess Jimmie Johnson just drove into the back of Tony Raines, who was in that big pile-up, and what is Jamie McMurray doing? What in the world? What is this AI doing? Yeah, poor Jimmy, I agree. Good Lord. Okay, well, that's fun. So that's about 8 laps to go, so we're going to have a quick dash to the finish. Jeff Gordon's probably in the good spot here. Yeah, Carl Edwards was like a bumper car right there on that last caution. Oh, goodness. Wow. The racing gods have... Yep. Anyway. Like I said, we'll probably have a quick dash to the finish here. I don't know how many laps we'll have left. Yeah, I'll wait to discuss who's where once things get settled here. And we're getting ready to come to green. Yeah, Michael Waltrip, I guess, is third. Wow. Lights are off the pace car. So let's see. So we'll have about 4 laps to go. Jeff Gordon leads. Tony Stewart is second. In third place is Michael Waltrip in the 55, followed by Jeff Burton, Casey Mears, Kevin Harvick, Mark Martin, AJ Allmendinger, Kurt Busch, and Sam Hornish Jr. That is your top 10. Man, I don't know where Michael Waltrip came from, but he benefited from this mess, so that's something. Here we go. Green flag. 4 laps to go from Nazareth. Stewart trying to chase down Gordon. He's trying to find a way around him. He's running out of time, though. Coming off turn 4. The laps continue to tick away. Correction. This is actually 4 laps to go. You think I know how to do math, right? Gordon starting to pull away from Stewart. Behind Stewart is the lapped car of Ryan Newman in the 12. 3 to go. I don't know if Stewart is going to catch him as Gordon heads back into turns 3 and 4. Going to come around to 2 laps to go here at Nazareth. Casey Mears has taken 3rd place from Michael Waltrip. Jeff Gordon just has to hit his marks here, and it's smooth sailing for him. And what's kind of been a wild race in the second half. White flag in the air for Jeff Gordon. Last chance for Tony Stewart now. He's going to have to send it if he wants a shot at this. Stewart trying all he can here. Down the backstretch for the final time here at Nazareth. Stewart peeks to the inside of Gordon. Maybe no, he does not have a chance. And Jeff Gordon will win at Nazareth. Kind of a thrilling finish there. Wow. Hey, Corvette, how are you? It's been a wild one, for sure. Yeah, those are your official standings as only 24 cars finished this race. Wow. Jeff Gordon, your winner. Tony Stewart, second. Mark Martin, third. Kevin Harvick was fourth. Kurt Busch, fifth. Casey Mears, sixth. Jeff Burton, seventh. Michael Waltrip, eighth. AJ Allmendinger, ninth. And 10th was Sam Hornish Jr. And that's your top 10. I'll let you look at the rest of the finishing results here as we decide on what we want to do for our second race tonight. Saw some good suggestions. I'll take a look through and we'll take a look and see what we go with. But we'll go from there. Actually, hold on. There's the rest of your fishing results. But yeah, those 2 wild wrecks took out a lot of cars, which took out more than, well, anyone would have expected. But you know, that's always fun. Yeah, I'll give you guys a bit to look at the fishing results. What? Oh, man. Give me a second here. All right. So, yeah. Kind of a crazy race there with those cautions and everything else. Goodness. Jet hooking me up with the graphic for the winner, so I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Where are you? There we go. Yeah, sure, that'll work. Alright. Here is your winner, and the new Nazareth race winner, Jeff Gordon! I have no idea what I'm doing. Alright, so, yeah, let me look through the comments here. Somebody suggested, let's see, Road America was suggested. I saw Evergreen. I-70, Louisiana, Barber, Pocono. Let me do some research. Because I'm kind of leaning towards maybe a road course. I don't know, though. Actually, let me see something. Let's see. Tracks. Let's see, Evergreen only does 36. Okay. I know somebody suggested Barber. Oh yeah, there's a Pocono road course. That would be interesting. Sebring? Yeah, Sebring's another option. So I know somebody suggested Pocono, and I thought, though the Pocono road course could be a little interesting. This seems to be about. There's the North Road course, and there's there's CW North and South. Okay. Yeah, Pocono has a road course. Yeah. So, knowing me, it's going to take me a minute to figure out what I want to roll with here. I'm leaning towards either Barber, Evergreen, or a Pocono road course race. I think that's what I'm leaning towards right now. Oh, of course, Streamlabs muted me. Okay, that's cute. All right. How'd you guys feel about a Pocono road course race? I think that could be a little fun because it is kind of topical for this weekend and something a little different. I'll probably turn off the cautions if I do that, just so in case anything silly happens. But and anybody that's keeping track of IndyCar, Scott McLaughlin is leading. Colton Herta second. Oh, they just went to a highlight. How could Pocono have a road course when they can't have a fourth turn? Alright, let's see here. Let's see, where was it? That means I'll have to download this track real quick. Close out the game for a moment. Okay. That wasn't smart. Yeah, what turn 4? It's like that what the F is a See, this is weird. I don't know why Streamlabs does that. Every time I like minimize the window or whatever, it'll automatically mute everything. It's so weird. Okay. Well, with all that out of the way. Alright. Pocono Road Course. Again, I will turn off the yellow flags because sometimes the road courses can get a little messy. So, 15 laps. That seems kind of short. So I was like 15's pretty short, at least in my opinion. I don't know, I think 20 laps or 25 should be good. Yeah, Eddie Birchwell. Yeah, winning a Daytona 500. And it kind of goes back to what I said about how the Daytona 500 not only changes your career, it changes your life. Okay, I'll play it safe. I'll do 20 laps. We'll see how this all nets out.
Drivers, to your cars.
Alright, make sure I got the race up there. Okay, cool. Alright, so Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, row 1. Row 2, Kurt Busch, Marcos Ambrose. How about that?
Drivers, to your cars.
Ooh, that is bright. Alright. Alright, this will be interesting. So yeah, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson on the front row, Kurt Busch, Marcos Ambrose, Casey Kane, Brian Vickers, Ryan Newman, Juan Pablo Montoya, Greg Biffle, and James Dennis, Alan Hamlin. Clint Boyer, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, AJ Allmendinger and Mark Martin, David Stremme and Bobby Labonte, Paul Menard, Casey Mears, Elliott Sadler and Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, Sam Hornish Jr., Joey Logano and Martin Truex Jr., Jimmy McMurray, Jeff Burton, David Rudiman and Robbie Gordon, Kevin Harvick and David Reagan, Scott Speed and Reed Sorensen, David Gilliland and John Andretti, Patrick Compartier and Michael Waltrip, Brad Keselowski, Tony Raines, Reagan Smith, and Joe Nemechek. Well, we'll see how this goes. I've never done this track before, but hopefully nothing crazy happens. We'll have to wait and see. But sometimes you never know until you do it, right? Ambrose is your pick to win. Hey, I think that's a safe bet. I think that's a safe bet. That's a good pick.
Drivers, start your engines!
Alrighty. All right. Let's see what kind of wild stuff happens in this race. Welp. Kyle Busch already with an issue. Hopefully nobody else has a problem. Or else I'll have to redo qualifying. Hopefully that's not the case. Man, the cars look super bright. See, a problem for Kyle Busch during the pace laps. So the road course does go the opposite direction here at Pocono. Kind of like Indianapolis. Here we go. We're coming to green. Stewart, Johnson, Kurt Busch, Ambrose lead us to the field for 20 laps of racing from the road course at Pocono. We're underway. Will Harrison Burton turn left? Maybe. 3 wide. It was 3 wide for the lead. Ambrose tried to make a move, but Stewart prevails. Ambrose tried to send it there on the first lap. That was an entertaining start right there. You see Kurt Busch and Casey Kane battling for, I believe that's 3rd place. Yes, it is. And Tony Stewart leads the way. Johnson 2nd. Kane, Busch, Ambrose. Kind of curious if anybody's had any issues so far. Looks like we remain clean for the most part, which is good. Just kind of going through the field here at the moment. John Andretti always a little bit of damage there. I hope your trip to Indy to see the return of the Brickyard will be great. Hope you have a safe travel. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm hoping for a fun weekend and praying that Mother Nature stays away. That we actually have some good weather for the weekend. That would be nice. Because, man, Mother Nature has tried to put a damper on everything. And Stewart continues to pull away. Johnson is vibing in second. There's Casey Kane in third. Going on board with Marcos Ambrose. Will Kane hit the fence going the opposite direction? Oh no. Well, hopefully nobody hits the fence, especially like what happened to Ambrose at Nazareth. Good lord. It's kind of fun to see some of these tracks that have road course layouts that, you know, you never would have thought of. But, you know, I know Pocono has it, and I know some of the mile and a halves like Atlanta and Kansas do. I don't think they're in NR 2003, but I know Gateway has one, but that's only, it's in iRacing, but not NR 2003. Went to Indy for the NHRA U.S. Nationals last year. It was so stinking hot, I think it took a year off my life. Yeah, last year I had credentials for the Indy race weekend, and I remember being hot, and I think I walked like maybe at least 5 miles around the place, just taking pictures and everything from that weekend. That was a lot of fun, though, because that was when, drivers like Rockefeller, Kobayashi, SVG, and Kostecki were all racing in that race, which I thought was pretty neat. Stewart's lead almost a 2-second lead now. And we are 6 laps into this one. I gotta say, the graphics are quite something. They look a little too bright with the reflections, but it still looks pretty good. There's too much sun to make up for all the rain. That's why it's bright. Honestly, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me. It has rained so much. But, yeah, I mean, like, Chicago last week, I hated the fact that it rained. But, I'm happy for Alex Bowman. I'm glad he finally got a win again. And he earned it. He really did. He earned it. So, you know, he drove hard in the closing laps of that race, and of course it got shortened because, you know, it was getting into darkness, and of course, you know, the whole thing with the, you know, that was probably a deal made with the city of Chicago, like they couldn't race past a certain time, which makes sense. But overall, I mean, once again, I think despite the weather, I think the street race weekend was a success. And I think it's important for the sport to have events like that, especially to be closer to the city, and you know, you're able to expose the sport more. You're able to showcase NASCAR to a wide audience, and even, you know, and I know some people are like, oh, you know, those people have never been to a race, they're not going to come back, or you don't know that. You know, some people will be like, hey, I hope they do this again next year, I want to come back, this is a lot of fun. Especially this year they got to do the concerts, which I think is awesome, because again, you're not just going to a race, you're going to an event, right? And I think that's what's important. Especially, like, to be able to attract new fans. Some people may, you know, they may sit there and go, oh, hey, you know, there's a race in Indianapolis coming up. Maybe I can go down and do that. You know, oh, St. Louis has a race. That's cool. That's within driving distance. You know, and again, just street races are cool, and NASCAR proved they can do it. They can make it happen. So they put on a good product. The racing was great, whether it was rain or shine. I thought the Xfinity race was great. That might have been, it was the most viewed Xfinity race since 2015, from what I heard. And not only that, it might be the most attended in recent years. So that's a big deal. And I hope once the 2025 schedule drops that Chicago will be back again next year. And hope to God Mother Nature stays away. Please. For the love of God. This event is so important to NASCAR, and I hate the fact that, like, you know, Mother Nature keeps putting a damper on things. And, like, every weekend it feels like it rains. Like, no matter where NASCAR goes, it rains. So, I can't help but, like, ask, what's the solution? It's hard, you know, because it's like, we now just figured out a way to kind of race in wet conditions. Not when it's like a torrential downpour. You saw it in New Hampshire. We've come a long way with that, which is great. You know, that we could actually race in wet conditions. Obviously not when it's like a driving torrential downpour. That's going to be too difficult. But hopefully at some point, you know, we continue to improve the technology of everything, and we eventually are able to potentially maybe have rain tires for a mile and a half, stuff of that nature. And I think, what was I gonna say? Also, the EV car that got debuted. What did you guys think of that? The electric race car that got unveiled. I think it's cool. I heard, because I'm sure some people were like, oh, this has no place in our sport, and all this stuff. But the reason to having this, and by the way, ABB partnering with NASCAR on that's a pretty big deal on its own. And I think, it's at some point we might have an electric stock car series. It is the way to the future, and it's more of this is a long-term exploration of what NASCAR could potentially do with this new technology. And now that they have this, not only can they showcase it, but now they can kind of do some research and kind of go, well, okay, now that we have this, what can we work with this? What can we do with this? I know in the article that Bob Pockrass posted, what was it? There was, maybe someday it may, the electric cars might be in the Xfinity Series or something. But that's probably not going to happen for at least 20, 30 years. It's not like, in 5 years, NASCAR is all going to be electric. No, it's not that. And so I think Kevin Harvick, with all respect to him, on his podcast was going on about how, there's no future for an electric vehicle in NASCAR, and I disagree. The reason why I disagree is if you're saying there is no future for an electric vehicle or potentially an alternative fuel source race car, then you're telling me there's no NASCAR in the future. And sorry that sounded dark, but, there comes a point where you have to look into that stuff. Look what Formula E's doing, And again, it's like, think long picture. Think long term, right? The next 20, 30, 40 years of the sport. I think this is crucial. I think this is important to have something like this in our sport. So let me know what you guys think of the EV car. I think it's great. I think it's good for NASCAR. I think it's good to have something like that. The EV needs to be tested by Mr. Electric himself, George Lopez. Yeah, I saw a bit of the demonstration footage from Chicago, and that car was whipping it, man. I was amazed. So I think it's cool we've gotten to that point where we've made an electric race car. And again, I think it's important to have something like this, There's so much you can do with it, and it's just something that you can think long term with it, so. And I get it. Some people are not a fan of it because they feel like, well, NASCAR is about the exhaust and, the loud cars. And I get that, for sure. But I still think, having something like this, to me, is, in my opinion, is pretty important, so. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else. Because SVG won the Xfinity race. And it's funny because I think Tyler Reddick and even Junior pointed out that, the only reason, that we're able to do the street course now is because of the next gen. I'm not so sure about that. I feel like they could have done this 10, 20 years ago. Because the Xfinity car put on a good performance. And that's the same car body that they've used since 2011. So, I think this is something that, NASCAR could have done a while back. And, I don't know. It's just, we don't want to miss out on stuff like that. That's why I think even the LA Coliseum was a big deal. Because, being in Los Angeles and being in a stadium like that, to me is, again, it's good exposure. It's good exposure. It brings in new fans, and that's what NASCAR needs to do right now. It's just experiment with things, shake up the schedule every year, do these different things and see what works and what doesn't. There will be some trial and error for sure. It's kind of like I talked about the wet tires in New Hampshire. I was like, well, say what you want, but we don't know until we try. So we tried it, and it actually went pretty good. So, and then of course, again, I think Chicago, for the most part, went well. The only bad part was the rain affecting the Cup race. I just didn't want the race to end after 25 laps, and because of not being able to get back going. So I'm glad they at least got back going with that race. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart continues to lead in this race. We got about 7-8 laps to go. And, by the way, let me know what your picks are for the Pocono Cup race tomorrow. I have a feeling Ty Gibbs might get his first career win tomorrow. We'll see. Oh, spinner! And hits the wall. Front stretch in the IndyCar race. Oh, that's Palou. Palou just spun out on the front stretch and hit the wall. Oh, man. Wow. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he just lost it or what, but yeah. The rain at New Hampshire made sense for the lobster. Yeah, the giant lobster. It's huge. I still think about that New Hampshire commercial they did for this year's Cup race. It's huge. The giant lobster. So, I can't do a New Hampshire accent for the life of me, but oh my gosh. Thanks for bringing that up, Jet. So yeah, Alex Palou is out of the race at IndyCar. Man. Top 3 as of 178 of 250. It's McLaughlin, Dixon, Pato O'Ward. Wow. Yeah, Palou just spun out on the front stretch, just lost it, and he came back up and pow, right into the wall going into turn 1. So Alex Palou involved in that. Oh, and Colton Herta was on pit road. Oh, man. On board of Kyle Kirkwood there. That's right. This is a doubleheader weekend, so they'll have a race tomorrow. So that'll be right before the Cup race. I'll definitely have to watch. But anyway, coming to 6 laps to go. Stewart out to almost a 4-second lead over Jimmy Johnson. Do you like Red Lobster? Yeah. I haven't had it in quite a while. It used to be a place I went to a lot as a kid when I lived in Louisville. I remember there was there was a Tumbleweed. It was in this area called the Outer Loop. And I'm trying to remember who did that bit. But it was like a podcast, and everybody was like debating what was better, Olive Garden breadsticks or the cheddar biscuits from Red Lobster. They're both good, but yeah. I always thought Red Lobster was good. So that's right. Didn't they just file for bankruptcy, or am I thinking of someone else? My pick for tomorrow is either Reddick or Blaney. I think those are good choices. I'd like to see Chastain win. I think if I had a pick one of my picks for sure is Gibbs. I think Blaney's a good pick too. Maybe Chris Buescher could win tomorrow. Kind of a callback to his first win 8 years ago. That was 8 years ago? Wow. Anyway. Red Lobster's debt is huge. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, the Red Lobster. I don't know why I just randomly thought of this, but I remember as a kid, and this is somebody who grew up in the 2000s. I was born in 96. But anyone here remember when, like, the Walmarts used to actually have a lobster tank that you could walk up and look at the lobsters in? Does anybody remember that, or is it just me? 'Cause it's funny when I, like, see pictures of, like, what certain places' interiors and stuff used to look like. Like, Wendy's used to have the sunroom, and Taco Bell had that really cool aesthetic, and, you know, the dining that Pizza Hut's used to have, and how, you know, in a way, we used to be a proper country. Of course, Kroger's used to have the walk-up salad bar. I think that went away after the pandemic. Yeah, okay, yeah, some of y'all do remember. Okay, yeah. I remember, like, being, like, 5, 6 years old and being like, whoa, look at the lobsters! So, but I do remember the fish tanks in general. Yeah, yeah. Those kind of phased out, I think, into the 2010s. But, yeah. Red Lobster cheddar biscuits and Olive Garden breadsticks are both good. Yeah, I agree. You know who also has good breadsticks? Fazoli's. I've always liked Fazoli's. I always thought their food's good. I remember my Walmart had a Subway in the back. Yeah. I know some Walmarts are still like that. They'll have like a Subway up front or something like that. You know, get done shopping and get yourself a sandwich. Yep. And I also remembered, so 2 days ago and 20 years ago, so July 2004, Tony Stewart won the Cup race at Chicagoland. Why do I point that out? That is because that was the first ever NASCAR, then Nextel Cup race I ever watched fully on TV. This was after weeks of playing the NASCAR Thunder 2003 game that I rented from Blockbuster, and then getting NASCAR Thunder 2004 from my dad. And yeah, the rest was history, they would say. So, just thought that was a neat thing to talk about. So yeah, 20 years, that's wild. And oddly enough, this channel will turn 15 years old on August 1st. That's how long I've had this channel. Of course, I rebranded it a couple years ago. Wendy's used to have a salad bar. Oh yeah, I think you're right about that. There's a restaurant company named Frisch's Big Boy. It's mainly a Cincinnati-based chain. So I don't know if any of y'all have heard of Big Boy or Frisch's Big Boy or anything of that nature, but I know that, I don't know if they still do, just the pandemic may have changed that, but they had I know they would have a salad bar, and I think Saturdays they had a breakfast bar, still do. Again, I'm not sure, I haven't ate at a Frisch's in a while, but again, I don't know if any of y'all have heard of Big Boy or anything like that. We had a Target with a Pizza Hut in the front that was always top tier. I still miss Kmart Cafe. Oh yeah. I don't remember Walmart having fish tanks, but I do remember the old 90s style smaller Walmarts. My local Walmart used to have a hyphen in between the wall and Mart. Yeah. I remember they used to use the smiley face for some of their promotions back in like the early 2000s. Let's see, what else could I remember? Since, you know, we're in nostalgia mode here. as we have 2 laps to go in this race. I remember I lived in 2 different places in Louisville. One of the earlier one that I lived in, there used to be a Winn-Dixie nearby us that we used to shop at. I remember they had a stand, I think it might have been Aquafina, that had like I don't know how I remember this, but for some reason I found it cool that like it looked like they had water pouring into a big cup or whatever, and I just thought that was cool. Again, I was like 4 or 5 years old at the time, so never forget Mike Sparks from NASCAR '09. The smiley face who used to drop the prices. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. White flag in the air, by the way, for Tony Stewart. He's pretty much dominated this race. There's what's the channel called? Because this channel that I'm about to refer to, it's like a freaking time machine, but I think they're called. No, it wasn't that. What was it? Let me see this. Nope, that wasn't it either. Vampire Robot. There's a YouTube channel called Vampire Robot, and it has a bunch of like videos that were like from back then. So like for example, people watching at a mall in 1992, or the last day of school in 1977, playing PS2 with your best friends in 2002, walking around a high school in 2000. Going to the movies in 2008. Yeah, Vampire Robot. That's the name of the. That's the name of the channel. They have all sorts of really neat videos on here. So, browsing Sega Dreamcast games at a Hollywood video store. Wow. So yeah, feel free to check that out. I remember there used to be a Pizza Hut that led into a Blockbuster. Oh yeah, Tony Stewart wins. Sorry, I got carried away with the conversation. I know that, that was a kind of a quiet race there, but congrats to Tony Stewart for winning this one at the Pocono Road Course. Give me just a second here. But yeah, I hope Streamlabs doesn't cut out my mic again, because I would really hate that. Okay, it didn't. Thank goodness. Yeah, the channel's called Vampire Robot, if anybody wants to check that out. And there you have it. Thanks again, Jet, for the graphic. So, about 2 hours into the stream, so honestly, we can keep going until the end of the IndyCar race. There's like 50 laps left. It's on CNBC because of breaking news coverage and stuff like that. But yeah, the Vampire Robot's got some cool videos. Because, like, I'll see a video of, like, you're going to the movies in 2004, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing movies like Finding Nemo and Cars and movies like that in the movie theater back then, so. Because, obviously, people don't go to malls and movie theaters like they used to, Everything, you got streaming services, you got online shopping, and all that stuff. That one I could compare. Yeah, exactly. The newer Walmart used to have a McDonald's. You know what's crazy? Like, McDonald's, used to have like the bright red roof on top and everything else, and now it's some of the stores now got like the death metal black or something like that. Um, what's a movie theater? Come on. Well, I will say, um, the third Sonic movie is coming out on my birthday this year, so I've been looking forward to that, and I'm like, well, I know what I'm doing on my birthday this year. I'm definitely gonna go see the Sonic the Hedgehog, the third Sonic movie that's gonna have Shadow in it. So, you know, I wonder if Jim Carrey will say, "I've come to make an announcement" during the during the movie. If he says that, I'm gonna fall out of my chair. I remember the red roofs at McDonald's. Yeah, and then the stores now they kind of have that death metal black thing going on. It's like McDonald's grew up. So, or at least it's just a sign of like, my generation getting older. Who will sponsor Chase Elliott at Richmond now? I don't know. Yeah, I know Hooters. Hooters just dropped out of NASCAR, which is a shame. Every restaurant just looks like Starbucks now. Yeah, it kind of does. So, now one thing I'm glad that got brought back is the new college football video game. I do have it pre-ordered on my Xbox, so I'm looking forward to playing that. 43 laps left at Iowa, and McLaughlin still leads with Pato O'Ward in second. Oh, man. Let me do this. There we go. Yeah, Finding Nemo, Cars. I think I saw Robots in theaters. I think I saw Meet the Robinsons. Trying to remember what else I saw. If you want to learn why McDonald's went lame, watch Requiem in a Theme McDonald's by Quentin Reviews. Oh yeah, Quentin Reviews. Oh gosh. Something just came into a stop on the apron there. I think that's Lundqvist. Yeah, Linus Lundqvist. His car just came to a stop. So 40 laps to go, and the caution is out at Iowa. I remember the Happy Meals. Yeah. Yeah, the Happy Meals. I remember when the Baja Blast first came out, and I remember being so big on that flavor. Fun fact, when I lived in Louisville as a kid, Louisville, Kentucky, there was an actual physical NASCAR store. I used to go to it all the time, and I saw my first 164 diecasts I got from that store. So I was, my dad and I would be out and about on a weekend and be like, "Want to stop by the NASCAR store?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that was always fun. So yeah, that was like mid 2000s when that was the case. This was before every video he made was 6 hours. Yeah, how does he make videos that long? Like, good lord. Speaking of which, does anyone know where I could watch the Beverly Hillbillies video Quentin did? I was only like on like hour 15. The Baja Blast was very good. Oh man. Man, my mic muted again. Good lord. Anyway. I don't know if y'all heard me, but somebody mentioned the Decision. It made me think of the Democracy from when I was a kid, and that's how Voltage first won. I'm trying to remember the other two flavors that was in that whole thing, but yeah, I will work on figuring out the Daytona thing for you there, TV8, and I'm going to continue to get the cars together for SNL 81 and 97, and I'll let you guys know when that's going to be released. Next order of business that I'm going to do is, my mic doesn't cut out for the 200th time tonight. I do have the zip file ready for all the cars from Racing Infinity Volume 26. So, the 1 and the 20 will not be in there because those were just edited. Those weren't made from scratch. The 72 and 96 were made by me. The 12, 29, and 75 were made by Jet. So, I will go ahead and get that on MediaFire. And release that. So, if you like fun McDonald's promos, SNL 98 may or may not have something that he made. Yeah, that's true. Just gonna stay tuned for that. So yeah, stay tuned. There could be. There could be. So yeah, sorry if my mic cuts out again. For some reason, Streamlabs just likes to randomly do that sometimes, and it's very confuzzling. I am confusion. America, explain. Let's see, where is it? There we go. My OCD kick in there. Okay. Let's see. College football 25 gameplay. Michael Vick versus Tim Tebow. Florida versus Virginia Tech. Ooh. Yeah, I'm happy. Earlier, they actually, I finally got to see some Louisville footage in there, so that made me kind of happy. Alright, so if you go to Racing Infinity Volume 26, the link, which that video is now just about at 600 views. The link is officially in the description of that video. Yeah, GE sponsored it for like a couple races or something like that, so. So let me do this really quick. Cool. So I'll go ahead and put this link in here as well in case you guys wanna check that out. There we go. Alright. And again, that link is also now in the description of Racing Infinity Volume 26, which I just said is at 599 views and expected to hit 600 here. So, if there's anything you guys want to discuss or chat, there's about 29 laps left of the IndyCar race from Iowa. I'll pretty much be here until then, so I'm here to chat. And as always, I appreciate you guys for joining and hanging out. Whoa, this is a step slow up there. Caution's out in the... Yeah, can't speak today. Caution is out in the IndyCar race. What is happening on the racetrack? Armstrong looked like he was coming to pit lane. The call to stay out on the racetrack, but ahead of him. That might save Armstrong to receive a caution and fix the lights that are coming on. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody wrecked there. Good Lord. Ooh. Herta got a little loose there, too. Goodness. That's interesting. But yeah, so the IndyCar race, it is on CNBC and Peacock because of the stuff that's been going on in the news. They moved the IndyCar race to CNBC, but it's also on Peacock. So, in case you're wondering, So yeah, I've just kind of had it on in the background and while I've been doing the races today. So, yeah, but yeah, somebody I know maybe at some point I might do like a 100% race. That would be interesting. That could be fun. I need a good reason for it though. I need something good. So, in the end, I just love making content for you guys to watch. So like I said, with Sunday Night Lights 98, we just wrapped up the Busch series, and I'm not going to give anything away, of course, but like I said, it's stacked, and there are some pretty fun moments to say for sure. Oh, what track they're racing at? I'm sorry. Iowa. It's the doubleheader at Iowa. So there's a race tonight and then the race tomorrow, I believe. So 100% SNL mock Daytona 500. What could go wrong? Oh, maybe 10 cars finish the race. It'll be like the 2018 Coke Zero 400. Because I remember, not a whole lot of cars finished that race. That was wild. Yeah, I think at some point we could do something fun like that. But like I said, I would need a really, really good idea. See what works and all that. So looks like the IndyCar race is about to get back going. It's McLaughlin, O'Ward, Dixon, Newgarden, VK, the top 5. There will be 21 laps to go when they get to the line. And they go back up through the gears. And the caution's back out again. Oh boy. What the? Okay. I don't know. That was weird. The caution came out and then it just went straight to commercial. On YouTube TV anyway. I don't know if that's the case for anybody else. And it's like the generic NBC promos for the Olympics and different shows. I forgot. I have Peacock. I probably could have just watched it from there. Good Lord. That's where I go to watch the WWE PLEs. I know SummerSlam's coming up. But, I just realized, so next week is Indy. The 20 and the 30 wrecked under yellow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, no joke. The restart happened. It went to yellow. And then suddenly YouTube TV just went to commercial. And again, it's just showing a bunch of generic NBC promos for different shows and all that. So I don't know why it did that. I don't know if anybody else is having that problem, but I have, what? I might switch to Peacock, honestly. This is ugly. Let me see if Peacock's any better. Here we go. Yeah, the race is actually on Peacock. How about that? Will Power is on Pit Road. Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why. I don't know if that was a CNBC problem or a YouTube TV problem, but I just switched over to Peacock. So yeah, I've noticed there's been quite a few instances of that, and then there's it sits on a paid spot, and it's programming will return shortly, and then it'll be enjoy the Zen, your programming will return shortly, and it's just, I don't know what's going on there. We all thought Fox Sports was bad commercials. Well, yeah, I don't know. That might be a YouTube TV thing. I don't really know. That was bizarre. Let's see. Palou has a 38-point lead over O Ward as they run. Anyway, well, that was an interesting. And just a reminder, folks, where's IndyCar going next year? Fox. You know what? If Fox, yeah, wow, yeah, they wrecked coming to the restart. Good God. Okay. Anyway, I think with IndyCar going to Fox, does anyone else here agree that Mike Joy should call an Indy 500 or be a part of it? Because I think he deserves it. I think that would be so cool. I don't know how long he'll continue to broadcast and call play-by-play, but I think before he retires, I think he should call an Indy 500. That would be really cool. So, just my thoughts there. Will Power is 4 laps down. There's 15 laps to go. We're under caution. So I got a friend who's a big Pato Award fan, so I know he's cheering him on. And I know, speaking of broadcasting, I know some stuff's been. I know it was oh geez, what was I gonna say? I heard Marty Smith's name get thrown around, which would be awesome. Love to see him back in the motorsports game. I heard that Adam Alexander might join the CW crew. Kind of curious where Rick Allen ends up at some point. Because I know Lee Diffie's taking over the NBC play-by-play booth. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'm intrigued to see what the CW broadcast will be like for the Xfinity series. Do you guys know that Jamie Chadwick... Yeah! I did see that. Yeah, she won an Indy NXT race. Yeah, that's awesome. Love to see that. And I hope success continues for her, and I hope things go well for her. So I think it's awesome to see her finally get into victory lane. VK and Ferrucci battling side by side on the restart. 11 laps to go for Scott McLaughlin. Excuse me. 10 to go. Penalty for willpower. Suddenly things are not going well for him. Avoidable contact. Okay. Yeah. Lee Diffie called motorsport in Australia before his U.S. calling IndyCar and NASCAR. Okay. Yeah, I believe it. Not too surprised. And I'm sure he'll do a fine job, and you know, I'll certainly miss Rick Allen in the NBC booth, but I'm sure he'll land somewhere. I don't know where, but I think he'll land somewhere. Memes aside, Rick Allen's very good at play-by-play, so. So 6 to go for Mr. Scott McLaughlin. Look, guys, a Penske car leading. I'm kidding. Hey all, Scott here, Australian edition. Scott Wozniak. 5 to go. McLaughlin gets around that lapped car. Yeah, I love hearing about new NR 2003 projects and everything else. So I highly encourage it, and I support it 100%. I think it's great that more people are making projects like that, and you know, if I'm able to inspire other people, that's pretty awesome, and that definitely means a lot. So, oh, that's upside down. Hey, all, Scott here. Alright, 2 laps to go. It's McLaughlin, O'Ward, Newgarden. Looks like that will most likely be the top 3. Alright, final lap for Scott McLaughlin. O'Ward is half a second back. I don't think he's going to catch him here. Down the backstretch and in the... Is the emergence of Shane Van Gisbergen in the NASCAR world once bitter rivals in Australia? And there you have it, Scott McLaughlin. That's right, he used to be a supercar driver himself. McLaughlin wins at Iowa. Pato O'Ward, Joseph Newgarden, Scott Dixon, Rinus VeeKay, the top 5. Watch Trackhouse and SVG team up to run the Indy 500. Yeah, SVG mentioned. You love to see it. He also called NASCAR in Australia when they had a series. And, oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I remember there was an Australian stock car series. Yes. So I'm pretty sure they used to race at the Calder Park Thunderdome a lot. So yeah, Scott McLaughlin wins at Iowa, and there's a race tomorrow, and of course we got the Cup race, and then it's off to Indy for NASCAR. Trucks and ARCA at IRP, and then Xfinity and Cup over at the Brickyard. Back on the oval this year. So definitely looking forward to that. SVG and Trackhouse running Indy would be like if Ambrose ran the double. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it's almost like we did that. They got the 3 podium cars on the front stretch there. That's why I was bummed about SVG getting wrecked there with 2 to go, because it's like, I want to see, I'm glad he's winning, but now I want to see him win on an oval. I would love to see him get a win on an oval, because I just think that would be awesome, and that would truly solidify how good of a driver I think he is, and I think he's a really good driver regardless, so, Oh, man. Stick around for a few more minutes here, and if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, remarks, whatever it may be, feel free to talk about anything before I head out, so... Yeah, like I said, I appreciate y'all as always, and it's fun chatting with everybody and getting to watch these races. We had kind of a wild one happening at Nazareth with Jeff Gordon winning that, and then Tony Stewart winning the Pocono Road Course. And like I said, what's this? Who would win in a fight? The Firehawk mascot or Pocono's mascot? That's a good question. I don't know. Don't count out when Kentucky used to have horsepower, or was that I'm trying to remember. Was that Kentucky or was that SMI stuff? I'm trying to remember. But I know there was a mascot called Horsepower, and it was an actual horse. But But yeah, appreciate you all's support as always, and like I said, stay tuned. We're starting work on the next Racing Infinity and getting closer to finishing all the races for Sunday Night Lights 1998 and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for all that. Like I said, 98's going to be pretty fun and exciting, and can't wait to show you guys that. And we're shooting to get that out in August. So. Let me look up a picture of Pocono's mascot really fast. Raceway mascot. Ah, I see now. Yeah, I don't know who'd win that battle. It's like Tricky. I think that's the name of the mascot. Tricky. Fitting. Tricky Triangle. I don't think I was too familiar with the mascot. When in August, that is yet to be determined. It just depends where I stand on things, and once I get the Cups season completed and I start getting into recording the footage and the audio, and I'll have a better idea of when I can get the video out. But the plan is for August for sure. And again, just stay tuned for more updates with that. I guess Eric Church is performing tonight at Iowa. Oh, and they got Kelsey Ballerini and Post Malone. Wow, they got other people besides country artists. How about that? Sorry I had to point that out, but, like, I feel like that's all NASCAR gets is just country artists. Like, shake it up a little bit. That's why it was cool to have, like, the Chainsmokers perform at Chicago. All right. So yeah, that'll do it for the IndyCar race at Iowa and all that fun stuff. So, all right. Well, I'll probably just go ahead and close up the stream here, close up shop for the night. So, as always, thank you guys so much for your support as always. And what is this? Post Malone, more like Tweet Malone, bruh. I remember when I first heard of Post Malone, I was like, why does Post Malone feel like I don't know why I thought of this, but like, why did it sound like it'd be like a breakfast cereal or something? I don't know, but anyway, that'll do it. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed it, and it's always a pleasure getting to talk with everybody. And stay tuned for more updates regarding Racing Infinity Volume 27, as well as SNL 1998. So, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all next time.